All of the boys around the hometown would come to him because he's so special.
Stairs sort of, for me, embodies this incredible love that he has for me and for everyone.
He's a friendly face. I mean, to me, he really is the embodiment of the Haverford School. And this place won't be the same without him, and I know my life has been forever changed by the years I've known him.
His boys, he takes more pride in his boys than he does in his own work. And you can see that in the amount of energy that he gives to us. It's unprecedented. It's on another level.
He's truly a second father for me and dozens of other notables in years past.
He's such a kind and generous soul.
Such a sincere, loving man. I think he's very special that way. I wish I had every teacher with those qualities to that extent.
Michael is one of the warmest, generous people I know. He took me into his home and helped me out when things were kind of uncertain. And he was an incredible father and godfather to my children.
Over the years, Michael has become a mentor to hundreds of students. He is never forgotten by them. And the brotherhood of the notables and the Haverford Upper School Choir goes on.
His level of musicianship and his caring of the boys is unsurpassed.
You have to approach him as a teacher. You can approach him as just an equal, or someone who you know would keep your best interest in mind and keep whatever you had to say a secret, or just talk to you about it for as long as you wanted to and make sure that you felt better at the end of the conversation with him.
The kind of person who would fly across the country to help you if you needed it, or support you as he does his students, whether they have a game here or they have a game all the way up in Maine. He would selflessly drive up and shout the names of his students who either swim or play football or what have you. He's just that kind of wonderful human being that's such an endangered species.
If he was a sports coach, he would have been, writing stories about that. I mean, he's a treasure. That's the only way to put it.
He injects such a sense of love of music and a love of life, and teaches how people, I think, through the music and through the educational process, how to be more fulfilled individuals. And they respond to him because of this. They instinctively know that he has this love and respect for the people around him, within himself.
I think of him as a dad because when I feel bad, he always helps me feel better. To help me practice when I was like 2 or 3 years old, I started like with my little hands. I started doing the piece. Like I started just like hitting the piano keys, and then I started, and then now I really enjoy playing piano, and for 6 years now. And he says it's really well. He says. Really good.
I think that my favorite moment ever with Mr. Stairs wasn't even something that I was a part of. My friend Remy Yang, whose mentor is Mr. Stairs, had a senior concert last spring, and Mr. Stairs coached him through the entire thing, and the last number in the concert was this dueling piano piece between Mr. Stairs and Remy, and just sort of seeing this sort of friendship between them, but also this mentorship and teacher-student relationship sort of coming out through the music, I think is really what Mr. Stairs is all about. And you could just see how proud he was of Remy and how much, Remy rose to this occasion of playing against his teacher, and it was this incredible environment, and everyone sort of just stood up at the end because it was so incredible.
Back when I first started teaching at Haverford, I happened to be going to a small church that didn't have a choir or much of a choir, and they needed male voices, specifically bass voices, which Michael taught me was called verbasso. and I didn't know how to read music. So Michael met with me before school and went over the part, and he played it for me on the piano, and he sang the part, which was perfect since I did not know how to much about music theory or how to read it. So I would put my tape recorder on the piano, he would play the songs and sing my part, and that way I was tutored every day going to and coming from school by listening to the tape of Michael Stairs playing my part, so I could look like I knew what I was doing on Sunday. And my choir director was always so amazed, and it was all thanks to Michael.
As a person, extends far beyond his exquisite abilities as a musician. The influence he has had on his students is something that goes beyond the average teacher-student relationship. They're learning more than music, they have learned more than performance, they have learned how to live. They have learned how to live their lives in a way that he has, with total devotion, his work ethic, his personal ethic, his honesty, his integrity, just his approach to everything. A good word to use would be complete genuineness. And also, Michael actually, can even be said, is a guileless person. I don't think Michael could be capable of anything that would involve guile. It's just not who he is. And anytime anyone or any group of people are around him, they sense this immediately, and it affects how they act, it affects how they think. And this influence that he has had, and the respect I've seen other people, other musicians, other persons in general have for him, colleagues, teachers, friends, is indescribable. And I know, as I've said before, I know that my life has been made better, and the lives of many people around me that I have seen have been made better because of who Michael Stairs is and how Michael Stairs lives his life and how he influences everything and everyone around him.
Welcome to Verizon Hall, and thank you for joining us at this performance of the Philadelphia Orchestra.
By the organ in Verizon Hall with him up in the upper console, which by the way bears his name. It was given in honor of him, and there's a plaque that people will see for all time in Verizon Hall with his name on it. And just watching him in that situation reminded me of something I always tell people about Michael as a musician. The joke is that he can't play a wrong note. We even joke about the fact that one of these days we're going to put duct tape between two keys of the organ or piano so that when he hits one of them, the other note plays as well and he plays a wrong note, because I think that's the only way that can ever happen.
It's not remarkable that somebody like Michael Stairs would choose an instrument like the organ. Even though he's a shy man, the palette of the organ gives the opportunity to say so much about the world and so much about emotions and so much about the human experience. It's the most enormous canvas on which to create musical ideas.
Many of your notable performances have been with the Philadelphia Orchestra in the city. When did you start playing with them, and how did that come about, and how has that added to your experience?
Well, I went to the orchestra through some dear friends that I have that are key players there, and they happen to be on the artistic committee, which suggests people to come in. So I was brought in for my piano playing and my celeste playing, and not much mention of the organ. I think Keith Chapman and Bill Smith were doing some organ work, so that wasn't part of it. I was brought in to do third piano or celeste and all of that. And then the position of organist grew vacant, and I took an audition with Riccardo Muti, and he had worked with me already and said that I am officially the organist for the Philadelphia Orchestra. So that's been fun. It's taken me to Tokyo, where we made a live recording, and it's taken me to Carnegie Hall, where I soloed in the Poulenc organ concerto. That was great fun. Not many people get to play in Carnegie Hall.
Other than music, is there anything in your life that's particularly influential with decisions you've made or has really connected you to other people?
I think music connects. I think my philosophy of music is all about people and the love that a group shares, and especially in a group like the Notables, it's a fraternity, and the guys are very caring. There's bickering, of course, and jockeying for power places and all of that. But at the end of the day, I've got to say that music is about people. The guys making the music. As Jeffrey Brillhart said, coming to a concert that we did a couple of springs ago, he said, Michael, the love going around the Notables and going to you and back around from me to them, he said the love was just palpable. And I don't think there's any higher praise in that kind of a relationship. And then I think one of my favorite concerts of the year was during Holy Week. It was Easter Thursday, actually, and we were singing over for the Penn Valley Women's Club in this ancient school building, which has great hard plaster and wonderful acoustics. But I was able to sit at the side of the Notables and look at the faces of the people that were enjoying the boys. We started with a religious set and did some powerful things like Steal Away to Jesus and Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, and a lot of things. And you could see the tears streaming down people's faces at the beauty of the music and how the text really spoke to them. And then our second half of the program was all of our foolish things and our beepsy bopsy, and where the guys are horsing around and really carrying on. Sometimes a little out of control, but that's okay. The fun that they could see that we were having, I thought that two people were going to fall out of their chairs in laughter.
Music is clearly very important to you. So what does it mean within your life, and who whether it's a family member, a friend, or a teacher, influence that love for music?
Well, actually, this influence to do music didn't come from my household at all. My father refused to pay for my starting piano lessons. And so I said, Dad, if I work to pay for my first year of piano lessons, then is it a go after that? And he said yes. So I picked potatoes in northern Maine like crazy. Got my head down in the soil and was digging these out and filling barrels as fast as I could fill barrels. So my beginning piano teacher was actually still in high school, about to go to the Eastman School, but she got me going. Her name was Priscilla Perry, and we had such joy and laughter. And when I first saw the treble clef and the bass clef, I thought, wait, I already know this somehow. It just seemed to make sense. And from that, when Priscilla Perry went to Eastman, then I studied with Dorothy Dingwall, who lived right at the end of my street. And that was a joyous time. And then my father transferred to a church in Erie, Pennsylvania, where I was so fortunate to have a great, great piano teacher, Frederick Cromus. And my piano playing really improved. I did a lot of Chopin and the repertoire that I love. There was still really no official organ. I kind of hacked at it, but piano was my first love. I happened to come across in Erie a husband and wife team that were from Westminster Choir College in Princeton, Andy and Helen Flanagan. And they kept saying to me all during high school, there's only one place for you, Michael, and that's Westminster Choir College. So off I went for 4 very happy years. And again, I had the greatest piano teacher you could ever imagine, Matilda McKinney. She had a videotape playing in her mind during the lesson. She didn't once stop me in the middle of a page or anything. She had me keep on going. Then she would go back and say that in measure 32 I used too much pedal, and that in measure 38 I needed to relax more ahead of the very difficult, demanding passages. And she would play the whole tape through, and it said that I needed to fix the fingering in measure 58, and all of this stuff. It was remarkable teaching. At about the same time, I started with the organ. Well, I really didn't know anything about the organ. As I said, I was just a hack, and anything that I did, including a Baptist church in Erie and a Jewish synagogue that I started after 7th grade, I didn't really know what I was doing at all. So getting to Princeton and having them talk about all these crazy buttons and what I should be pressing and all of this, it was a total foreign world to me. So Dr. McCurdy, I think, felt sorry for me, and second semester he took me on, and I stayed as an organ major until he left. He retired from Princeton and devoted himself to Curtis. And after I left the choir college, he insisted I go to Curtis. And that was another wonderful 4 years where I studied piano. I progressed to a lot of Liszt with Vladimir Sokolov, and did a lot of major Bach works and Dupre works and all kinds of things with Dr. McCurdy. Very joyous time in my life, and I'm so grateful for the wonderful teaching that I've had.
I mean, Mr. Stairs is the man that really made music a big part of my life. He showed me how beautiful it can be, and I think really taught me just how to sing it and know that there's something bigger behind just notes on a page.
His skill as an arranger is also a great thing.
His joy of the music was almost tangible.
I mean, his brutish passion and the way he would just, sometimes he would get
In his frustration sometimes with us in Notables, he would just sit down at the piano and just start playing, and just like, you could tell that he was just releasing all this energy.
And when he played, people would say, "Can you change that key?" And he'd sit there and he'd be focused. He could change to any key you'd want, and his tongue would come out. He looked like Michael Jordan sitting at the piano with his tongue out just a little bit.
He certainly inspired me to be a singer, and I went on to sing in college, and now I still sing recreationally. And music has opened so many doors for me. It's one of my great passions in life.
So it just brings a whole different level of professionalism to our trade and to our school, having him around.
Whether it was at the piano or with the Notables or just walking around campus, he was and is one of the biggest influences on me as a musician.
There's a minor second and a major second.
Music is Michael's life, his love, his passion, and anyone with talent or even a spark of musical affection was encouraged by him to study and develop that glimmer of ability.
It was amazing to see the level of professionality he brought to the place.
He uplifts everybody with whom he works. When you sing with Michael, you feel as though you are being put up on a great stage, as though you are the greatest performer that's ever been around. If you are a violinist and you have the opportunity to play for him, the way he accompanies you makes you feel as though you're on the stage of Lincoln Center.
But I know you love this piece, and I really want to have like a couple of phrases just for you, Michael. Love you.
So you've obviously had a lot of influences in your life, and both at the Haverford School and at the Church of the Redeemer, you've clearly been a huge influence on other people. So what does places like the Haverford School mean to you?
Well, I've got to say, first of all, you mentioned Redeemer first, which is where I met you. You were just a little tiny thing, singing Mozart and all of that. It was good. It was fun. I've got to say, Redeemer has been truly a church home to me and a family, and through my 25 years, well, now it's going on 30, I guess, or whatever, but I've done so many weddings and funerals for everybody, and what a great family they've become since my illness. It's such a joy. I can't get over what a wonderful pastor Peter is, and the choir director Michael Diorio is more fun than a barrel of monkeys. We have so much fun in the middle of the service. Sometimes we forget that the next hymn is coming up. But anyway, Haverford School has been another wonderful thing in my life. At first I decided, wow, I really don't like these kids from Rose Lane, and they were snotty, and I thought, oh, I don't know. I came from teaching at the University of the Arts, where the kids were very hip and very different, and it was kind of a wild place because we had theater people and jazz people and classical people. So I came from the excitement of that community to Haverford, where everybody kind of looked the same and acted the same, and I wasn't sure I liked that. But I've got to say, different people encouraged me to stick it out, and I found myself, after about 5 years, really loving Haverford and its people, and I've noticed more and more the student body has become much more interesting, and the friends I've made in the gym, in the weight room, I have more friends now that are basketball players, which surprises me more than anything, but last winter I don't think I missed any basketball games at all. I'm such a fan. And it makes a big difference when you actually get to know the players. And of course, water polo and swimming, I've become passionate about, mainly because a lot of my favorite kids still are involved in those two sports. But I've got to say that the music making at Haverford School through the years has been just electric. And the response from the boys to me in the class and in the singing in the groups, it's been extraordinary.
Please remove your hats and join the Haverford School Notables under the direction of Michael Stairs as they sing our national anthem.
Sitting all alone, feeding her flock near to the mountainside. Careful. Good night, my angel. Now it's time to dream. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet.
4 stairs in honor of Stairs, and we didn't want to do kind of a one-time gesture and have that be it. And we thought, what better way to have a lasting legacy to Stairs at Haverford than to establish an ongoing music program. So we have set out to establish the Michael Stairs Concert, an annual event where we would bring a world-class musician to Haverford for a day of master classes for the boys, followed by an evening performance open to the whole community.
And he's like getting all into the music, and it's like you feel as if through the music he loves you, and then like just as you're singing, as you're playing the piano, you just feel that tangible love for the music, and it's really incredible. And
I think what's special about Mr. Stairs is how he connects with people. Of course, he's an amazing musician, organist, conductor, teacher, but he really cares about other people, how they feel, how they are inside, what they mean as a person.
He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent men and the love of little children, who has filled his niche and accomplished his task, who has left the world better than he found it, whether by an improved poppy, a perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who has never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who has always looked for the best in others and given them the best he had, whose life is an inspiration, whose memory a benediction.